Here's the thing, people love to jump to conclusions very quickly, and that's been happening for the last 24 hours with Mass Effect Andromeda, which is now in the hands of people with EA Access and Origin Access, letting them sample a tiny slice of the single player and get stuck in with a few hours of the multiplayer mode. All I'm going to say is that it's always going to be best to wait for the reviews that take into account everything that a game has to offer before you just dismiss it out of hand. Those reviews, they'll go live at the start of next week in this instance, so it's not too long to wait before you can actually get a fully formed opinion. In the meantime, what we've got here for you today is a video of the multiplayer, which has remained largely under wraps until now. In essence, it's a cooperative horde mode, once more, but built with everything that Mass Effect Andromeda has to offer. In particular, that means that the combat is more dynamic, you can jump, you can boost dash in any direction, you can perform smashing melee moves and stuff like this. You also get to fight against aliens both new and old, with each faction bringing something slightly different to the fight, especially once you get to the tougher and more elite units that show up in later waves. The mode has you facing off against 6 waves of ever more difficult enemies, with 2 waves of survival followed by an objective such as defusing devices, uploading by holding a control point, or one of a few other variations. They just put a slight spin on shooting the game's new enemies. Last but by no means least, Wave 7 is the extraction, with you needing to be within the extraction point as the clock ticks down to 0 and the now overwhelming number of enemies coming down on you like a ton of bricks. It can actually be really quite tense when you manage to get to that point. Playing games earns you currency and also gets you experience to level up the specific multiplayer character you're playing with. You have a roster of about a dozen of these to start with, while new ones are unlocked via loot crates, and they each have their own particular mix of abilities. Sadly, I can't seem to find a way to delve into the full customization mode from here, but there's going to be plenty of variety and you can pick a character that you like. Loot boxes are also where you get new weaponry, modifications, boosts, items and so on, and there's both in-game currency and microtransactions to buy these, but it seems like you can get enough money together for a basic box almost every game that you manage to complete, so it's not exactly stingy. At this point, connections can be a little bit ropey, which I'm hoping can be alleviated for the game's full launch, but it is always going to be dependent on the host's connection because this is peer-to-peer. It is never nice to have a lagged out robot enemy killing you, and the combat can sometimes feel a bit imprecise at times, especially with melee attacks, but, you know, play with your friend and you should be alright. This has just been a quick summary of the multiplayer mode, but if you've been playing, let us know what you think in the comments below, and you'll have to wait until Monday before you can hear our own fully fleshed out thoughts on the whole game. Until then, there's liking and subscribing to do, and visit us over on the6axis.com. I'm going to leave you with a few more minutes of gameplay and hope that you join us again soon.
I'm grateful.